Well, good. Welcome to session 1 today, and we are talking about connecting to the highest version of yourself. So today it's going to be a good session. Well, all of them are good sessions, I hope. But when we are working in transformation, it really is the transforming of ourself. And when we have transformed ourselves, that we will have a better experience. So I'm just going to wait just a couple minutes for see some people to arrive, because I always start a little bit early, and then people miss the beginning. What I thought I'd do something different today is actually I've pulled a couple of cards with the intention of this topic, which is connecting to your highest version of yourself and connecting to whoever is going to be either here today or watching the replay. So the first card, it's from the Ascended Masters deck, and the card that came out was Follow Your Heart. So it's St. Francis, and it's about following your heart, which, as I explain about connecting to the highest version of yourself, it is certainly and most definitely generated from that heart space. That is the place where we listen to, that is where the messages come from our higher mind, our higher self. So that's a good card for that. I don't need to read anything else about that card. That's just about follow your heart. The next card, I tested up another 2 cards, and these were from the Rebecca Campbell. I don't know if you can see that. The Rebecca Campbell deck, which these are beautiful. The work of your light oracle cards, those ones. And these cards, so just putting this into the session we're going to do today. The first one is Warrior Woman. The first one is Warrior Woman, which is you have answered your deepest calling. And once again, that's going to make more sense as we go into what is your highest version of yourself. So we are answering our deepest calling. And what it says in the book is that you are here for a reason. You are being called to bravely pave a path. Have you answered your highest and deepest calling yet? And that is a question. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about how we are aware when we answer that calling. And sometimes in the hero's journey, it is called a call to adventure. So when we're living a heart and soul-led life, it's not always smooth sailing. And so often our fears are the gatekeepers to our greatest gifts. So this is transcending our fears. Our fears can be the emotions we feel about things in the past, our limiting beliefs, our limiting perception of ourselves can all be put under the category of fear. So this is the Warrior Woman. So we're going to ask for the Warrior Woman to come in and to help each and every person that's on this call today, and everyone that watches the replay, is to tap into this energy of the Warrior Woman, to look for courage to step into their path of their highest self. So that's that card. And the other card that I pulled for today's session was Birthing a New Age. So that's that card there. And often our path, hey Michelle, I'm just pulling a few cards that that are to align with the topic of connecting to the highest version of ourselves today. So I'll just go over those cards. First one is Follow Your Heart from the Ascended Masters deck, and the next one is the Warrior Woman, and having bravery to step onto that path, the path less traveled. And then the third card that showed up today was Birthing of the New Age. And this is often our path is exactly the one that we don't feel we're prepared to walk. And I think that makes some sense, like birthing new creations, birthing new versions of ourselves, like stepping into transformation, connecting to the highest version of ourselves. Sometimes we feel not prepared to do that because of usually from our limiting beliefs about ourselves, our limiting perspective about ourselves, that we feel like we're not prepared. But when we really learn how to tap in to get connected to that highest version, is that we do get the messages that that's what we were meant to do all along. So anyway, those are the cards. We might go and revisit them at the end to see if they mean more to you at the end of the session. So back to now, I'm going to put it on speaker. Now I'm just going to go over to Facebook just to check, because last week when I went onto Facebook, it went black. So
Facebook is interesting because I tried joining from my phone from Facebook, but it wouldn't let me click on the Zoom link. I actually had to come in through my computer to get connected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know why my phone, it just kept wanting to push me to my personal page.
Yeah.
Strange.
And so, yeah, I was just looking to, because last week when I put it on speaker, it didn't show up. The what I was seeing wasn't showing up. And oh well, it seems to be doing it. So that's going to be interesting when we go back and look at that video, but that's okay. Connecting to the highest version of ourselves. So that highest version is usually that voice that's a whisper. The highest version of us isn't the one that is screaming the loudest. That is usually our ego or our limited perception of ourselves, but the highest version of us is usually that whisper, the one that is quietly nudging us to do things that maybe feel uncomfortable, nudging us to take that course, nudging us to read that book, or putting us in different alignment. We are aware of that higher version of ourselves. The higher version of ourselves also is the version of us in the end result, the one that we see in our vision, the one that when we tap into that end result, we see that version of us who has overcome the limiting beliefs, the version of us who's enough, the version of us who is capable, the version of us who feels lovable, who is a powerful creator, who is confident, who is finds success, who knows what love and joy is, and who is living a life aligned to their true nature and purpose. Our highest version of ourselves is that person, is that version of us in the end result. That version of us exists now. It's just we sometimes have to unravel the conditioning to get to that deep part of us. That highest version of us was the part that chose to come here to begin with. That version of us is the one that chose to have this physical experience. And so often it isn't the wounded part of us. And it isn't the part that has had all the conditioning from this life experience. And so that's why sometimes it takes a little bit of work to tap in and actually hear the voice of that highest version of ourselves. We know that that part of us exists, but we're not used to communicating with that aspect of us. So if I go back to the diagram, of which I always use this one, but I like the one Michelle has, but I can never work out how to draw that one. But so this is when we speak about being a whole being, when we speak about wholeness, is when we are working as a mind, body, spirit complex, as we're working as conscious, unconscious, super conscious, when we're working as our higher mind and lower mind and knowing the difference. And that is when we are being conscious creators and living consciously, is when we're using all aspects. Now, as we start off as this beautiful highest version of ourselves, which is in the superconscious, and we choose to come here into this physical plane, we then seem to lose or feel disconnected from this aspect of us. And we are living our life in this polarity universe, in the physical plane, often trying to create from the physical perspective, create from our limited perspective of ourselves. And we have become disconnected from the unlimited version of ourselves, the superconscious version of ourselves, which is the highest version, the higher self. You can call it source energy, you can call it your God self, your divine, it is that aspect of you that knows your full potential and knows how to get you there, but we often feel disconnected. And so it is about reconnecting to that highest version of ourselves and reconnecting on an intimate level, like going through that end result and really feeling, what is that version of me? What does she do every day? What does she, when she wakes up in the morning, what are the actions she takes? How does she think about certain situations? And we know when we're coming from the lower mind or the limited version, the unconscious self, is when we make it very personal. It's about the limiting beliefs that I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, I'm not powerful, I'm not worthy. And this is when we know that it comes from the limited version of ourselves. And that is often the louder voice in the room. And it's also it's sort of like the naive voice in the room too. It's the less evolved voice. That's the voice from all the conditioning that we've experienced in this lifetime or through ancestral that has been passed down. So it's not the highest version. The highest version of us just wants to choose something because we love it. It's just here for the experience. It's here for growth and expansion. It's here to allow you and to move you into fulfillment and the greatest version of yourself. So this is where we need to relearn how to work from this space. And if we actually lived our life from the top down, from the superconscious, from the higher self, how better would it be? How different would our life be when we actually moving through that higher mind? So for example, there's the higher mind and the lower mind. The lower mind is from the limited version, and it's also from the physical expression, is for example, the lower mind needs control of a situation, especially if that's one of your traits. The lower mind, I need to control this situation. Whereas the higher mind is one that knows when they've done the work, they just need to allow, they need to surrender and allow things to happen. The lower mind will feel offended, and the higher mind is one that can see things from a different perspective. The lower mind will take things personally, and the higher mind will come from a place of love and choose it anyway. It does not see yourself as broken. It doesn't see yourself as flawed or being judged. The higher mind is the one that is that nudge, that call to adventure. So in the hero's journey, the higher mind is what is the voice that is calling you to adventure, is calling you to transform, is calling you to change, is the voice that tells you to get up off the floor when you're at your lowest. When I think most people, and if you're in this session today, and if you are doing this work, you've probably had a moment in time when you've been down on your knees and feeling like you're at your lowest. And that voice that says to get up, to do this, follow that. Some may think it's, God inspired, but that's true too, absolutely, because your higher self, your higher version of you is deeply connected to that divine. That is the voice that tells you to get up. That is the voice that leads you in the direction of your next step. And when we retrain ourselves to connect to that aspect of ourselves, then true magic can happen. We start living intuitively. We start living from divine guidance, and we're living the life that we've chosen for ourselves, not one that's chosen for us. When Joseph Campbell, who was the creator of the Hero's Journey, he talks about when we're on the path, when we take the path that is already made, then you realize that you're on the wrong path, that your path is the one that you might need to fight and cut through the hedges to get through. You need to make your own path. When we've traveled someone else's path, if we're on a path that's already been set and feels like it's already there, chances are you're probably on the wrong path. Your path will be the road less traveled. You know, you may have an end result and you can be guided, the quantum GPS can lead you there, but it won't be a path that is already set. And that's what probably one of those cards meant, is that, you know, the birthing of the new age, birthing of the new life for you, or birthing of that new experience, is about creating a new path and knowing that that path is for you. You may feel like you don't have the skills, but that is also coming from the lower mind and a limited version. But you do have access to the superconscious, which is your field, which is a field of information. Can be your quantum GPS, can be your map, can be whatever it is. And that's where we work through in this work. We relearn how to connect to that superconscious. We do it every week. We tap into the end result in the superconscious, and then as the guide, the witness, asked to release resistance to that. So today we're going to do a technique called positive self-image. And we're going to connect, and we're going to make a list of who we are, who is the highest version of ourselves, because sometimes we don't actually think about it. We're trying to create from a limited version of ourselves. Maybe the identity that still feels like they're not capable, or the identity that still feels that they're not worthy, or they're not enough. And so when we are trying to create from that old identity, you know, you won't be able to reach that end result because you're in conflict. Your unconscious mind won't let you get to that end result, because the version of you that feels that it's not enough doesn't exist in that end result. So we need to retrain our unconscious mind to know who our highest version is. We need to download the information from our highest version into our unconscious mind. So when we tap into that end result, our highest version is as familiar to us as our limited version of ourselves. So this is the process called positive self-image. So I want you now, if you've got a pen and paper, or if you've got a device, you can write it down there. I want you to write 5 to 10 attributes, and I want you to write them in the aspects of I am. And it doesn't have to be, these are all positive attributes, and these are the attributes that you are in your end result. There may be aspects of you that already are this, probably many, but they're the ones that you want to enhance and retrain in your unconscious mind. The reason we are using the I am is very important. It's not just saying it in the present tense. The I am is your connection to source, to the superconscious. I am, if we go back into not giving a theology course, but when Moses asked the burning bush, asked, what is your name? And in that parable, in that story, it was like, I am what I am. And so there is a beautiful meditation that Wayne Dyer does, and if you want to have a look at it, it's on YouTube, and it's called the I Am Meditation. and it's got a picture of the infinity sign. And when you say the I am, that is a soul, it's like a soul language that is connecting you to that highest version of yourself. And so if you say, I am not capable or I am ugly, you're actually connecting to that higher version of yourself as well. So we're not going there. We're going to get really clear. I am, 5 things. I'll write down some of the ones that are good with, that I'm going to use. So I am joyful. I am a loving partner. I am good with money. So we can think about when you're writing some of the I ams, go back to some of your choices and think about your choices, whether it be choosing a life that I love. What are some of the attributes that version of you has in that life that you love? So I am good with money. I am, I had a list of these once and I've just got to think of it. So write down 5. I am a loving partner. I'm going to write, I am fun. I think I may be sometimes. I am generous. I am a successful coach. I am a person who lives by the beach. You can write anything you want. I am not, try not to use a not, try and always positive statements. I am joyful. I'm a loving partner. I am good with money. I am fun. I am generous. I am organized. So you can use things that you can put things down that you want to create more of. I am fit and healthy. I am someone who loves eating healthy. So you might see from those things, you might see what I mean by writing the I am. So these are just a few things I have written. I am joyful. I'm a loving partner. I am a good mother. Or I'm a loving mother, whatever you want to put. Things that are important to you, things that are in your values, things that are aligned to your choices. I'm good with money. I am fun. I'm generous. I'm successful. I'm a person who lives by the beach. I'm organized. I'm fit, healthy. I'm someone who loves eating healthy. I am in financial flow. Yeah, I like that. Thanks, Michelle. I am confident. So these are just some ideas you can write down. Keep it to 5 or 10 because you'll see why later. So what else have we got here? I am full of bliss. Yeah, perfect. I'm athletic. I'm in financial flow. I'm confident. I'm lovingly connected. Beautiful. Yeah, the I ams. The I ams are so powerful. And when we realize that the I am is the start of our sort of connection to the superconscious, it makes it even more powerful why we say the I am. So now that we have the list, I want you now to I want you to read through them, 5 or 10, whatever you've got. And I want you to close your eye, to read through them first with obviously open eyes. And then I want you to go through each one and focus on what does it feel like to be that? What does it feel like to be each of those I ams? Now, some may feel foreign because some you maybe feel a little separated from them compared to others. You know, some may be, well, I'm already funny. I'm already fun. But I'm already a loving partner. So they're easy ones to feel into what they are. But some of them may be, you know, for example, I'm fit and healthy. There may be a little bit of resistance, especially if you have, you know, some health issues going on at the moment, or maybe I'm a loving partner, or I am in a loving relationship. You know, if you're not in one, that you may feel some resistance to that, but I want you to feel into that end result. And what we're going to do is that we're going to feel into each of those aspects. And then we are going to and then we're going to anchor these aspects into your unconscious mind. And we're going to go through a statement where we're going to anchor these aspects of the I am into your unconscious mind. So I want you now just to take a minute or two and just go through each one and just feel into it. Concentrate on the power of each one and choose that specific aspect. Now you may, because of time, like if you've got too many, you may just choose to do 5 at the moment, maybe the ones that you may feel some resistance to. So you may just choose to do 5 of them. You can go back and do more of this after this session. Like this will be recorded and it will be put in the hub in Creatosphere, and it will also be on the inner circle. So you can always go back and write more and redo this. So I want you now just to go through, just take a couple of minutes, feel into those aspects. And then I want you to close your eyes and actually now see those versions of you, that aspect of you in your mind's eye. If you can remember which ones, if you need to open your eyes and have a look, you can go back. But tap into, with your eyes closed, we tap into the unconscious, and that's where we're speaking to at the moment. That's where we want to retrain and reconnect to this new version of you. And as you're feeling into each of these individual aspects, I want you to feel into and smile to yourself as you think about yourself in this role. Smile when you feel and see yourself as confident. I am confident. I am in financial flow. I am a money maker. I am financially abundant. I am in a loving relationship. I am someone who easily makes good food choices. I am someone who loves exercise. I am someone who looks after their body. I am someone who is a great time manager. And just feel into it. I am. Superconscious, please treat all resistance for each of these aspects in the best and perfect way. Thank you. And then when you've gone through all of them, just type in a 1 in the chat box. Great. All right. If you haven't finished and you're watching the recording, you can just press pause and finish going through them. So now what we're going to do is we are going to speak and anchor in. We are going to say the words of, I'm going to just read the statement first, and then I'll go through how we're going to do this. We're going to say unconscious. When I say my name, and then we say, I am Verena, I am Michelle. This image and feeling will immediately become manifest on all levels. So I want you now just to go through that list. Just read through it one more time, the I ams. And as you're reading through it, I want you to put your hand on your wrist as an anchor. And I want you now, it's what we call a circuit. I want you just to open your, you can open your legs just slightly, or you can actually do this. So we're putting all of these in a circuit. So we're going to use all of them. And I'll be holding it for those of you on the call too. So we go through, just read through them, feel into them again, hold on to the anchor. And then I want you to repeat after me. Unconscious, when I say my name, and then say, I am Michelle, I am Verena. This image and feeling will immediately become manifest on all levels of consciousness and all of my being. And we say it 3 times. And we say, and as you say it, you remember the feeling of what it felt like to move through all of those statements. The feeling of feeling financial flow, confidence, I am, all of the I ams. Unconscious, when I say my name, I am Verena. This image and feeling will immediately become manifest on all levels of consciousness and all of my being. And we say it one more time, unconscious. When I say my name, I am Verena. This image and feeling will immediately become manifest on all levels of consciousness and all of my being. And then let go of the anchor, and you can move your legs together. And now I want you just to feel into the moment and imagine that you are smelling, that you can smell lavender. Imagine you can smell lavender. And then I want you to say your name. I want you to say, I am Michelle, I am Verena. And just feel into what comes up. Do you feel that feeling? That feeling of the I ams, that I am all of those things. Now, this is something you can practice as part of your morning routine, before you go to bed, when you walk into a room, before you do, let's say, a presentation, or before you do anything with work. You can say that and move into that highest version of yourself. And we're going to do a quick recode as well. We're going to do a recode where we're going to go through those I ams again, and we're going to anchor them in, and we're going to release any resistance that we have to those end results. So I want you now to choose a choice. Maybe it's the life that I love, one of the ones that you were thinking of when you were writing the I ams. Choose, maybe it's your true nature and purpose, feeling into that true nature. And I want you now just to, when you go into that end result, I want you to really focus on who are you in that end result. Not just the emotions in the end result, but I want you to feel intimately the being, the version of you, and feel into the aspects of you in that end result. And as you can do that, you can go through, you can, in your mind's eye, you can go through the I ams, and you can see yourself in all of those situations. I am confident. I am in financial flow. I am full of bliss. I am lovingly connected. I am athletic. I am full of joy. I am great with money. I am organized. I am someone who loves eating healthy. And you just see yourself in that situation. So close your eyes, and we're tapping into the superconscious and going into that end result. And we're creating 2 points in time. 2 points in time. And I want you now, with that end result, to feel into it, see yourself in that end result, see the highest version of you. See the highest version of you in that end result. And then I want you to put it in a bubble in your mind's eye and put it to the right-hand side. And that is the fixed point. That is the stake in the ground. That is where we're moving to. That is our true nature and purpose. That is our highest version of ourselves that exists on all timelines. And I want you now to see that version of you in a bubble and draw a line as if you're coming back to the present moment. We're creating a quantum GPS. We're reverse engineering from where the end result to where you are now. And you're coming back to the current space. And you see what's the resistance? Where are you different from that version of you now in the present moment? What's different? Maybe you don't feel good with money. Maybe you don't feel healthy. Maybe you feel that's hard work. Maybe it feels far away. So just go tap into how it feels now. Tap into that distance between where you are now, where you want to be. How does it feel? What is the version of you now different to that highest version of yourself? What's the difference? Write it down. And now I want you to think about what are some of the belief systems that you have to believe in this lower version of yourself, this limited version. Some of the beliefs that I can write in the chat box, or you can just, I'm not worthy, I'm not capable, I'm not powerful, some may say I'm not lucky, I'm not, it happens to everyone else, but not for me. I'm not enough. Don't have enough. So what are some of the beliefs? And then I'm going to ask you, do you know that this can change? You can know that this aspect of you can change. I need to do more. Yeah. An aspect of not enough. No, I need to do more. I got to do more and more. Like what I'm doing isn't enough. And to know, just to plant that seed that you know it can be different, because in your mind's eye, you've seen it. And you know people that are living this way. You know people that can live intuitively and in the highest version of themselves. I mean, this is what the work's all about. This is what spiritual growth, personal development, is always about growth and expansion for us to reconnect back to that higher version. So we know it's possible because you started out that way. So now we're going to move into the recode. I'm going to go through the metaphor, just for those of you who maybe need reminding. The metaphor is, if you see the superconscious, the field of information is like a river. It's like a flowing river. And as the water is flowing down this river, there is boulders. There's been boulders put there by you over time that have put in resistance for you to reach, that are preventing you from reaching this end result. Now, when we're going to the superconscious, we ask superconscious, do you see these boulders? Do you see these rocks? And we ask them to remove them or release their place on this flow. And we can remove them depending on how long they've been there and how much resistance you have to changing this version of you. It may take a bit longer to move some of those boulders, but there will be some change. There will be a relief. And as we speak to the superconscious moves those rocks, those boulders, in the best and perfect way. And in the best and perfect order as you put them there. So your superconscious knows how to remove them, what they're about. And we ask for that resistance to be released so the water flows down freely on this river of desire, moving towards that desired end result, which is living a life aligned to your highest version of you, that you can live that now today. And I want you now to set a number. What is it? 0 to 10, 10 being I feel so far away from the highest version of me, 0 being I'm already there, I'm ready to walk out the door as that newest, highest version of myself. I know who she is, I know who he is, I know who they are. So I want you now to feel in to that, and we'll get started. Superconscious, are you there? Superconscious, do you see this end result of the highest version of ourselves? Do you see the I ams that we've talked? The I am. Do you see the I ams? The I am Michelle. I am Verena. I am Jackie. I am name afterwards. Do you see that highest version of yourself and all the aspects that you lovingly choose for yourself? Do you see all the resistance around this choice? Superconscious, please treat all the resistance in the best and perfect way. Please go to the beliefs around identity, all the beliefs that each person has around their identity. I'm not worthy. I'm not capable. I need to do more. I'm not enough. Please tag these beliefs about the identity and treat them in the best and perfect way. Go to the original event where we created this belief about our identity. The main one being I'm not capable. Go to the original event on all timelines. Remove this event and treat it in the best and perfect way. And put this event back in the timeline with the new belief, I am capable. I am enough. I am connected. I have enough. Please treat all these beliefs around identity in the best and perfect order. Thank you. Superconscious, can we please look at definitions? The definitions and rules that we've made about ourselves. And these could be family rules that we've made about ourselves, made about how things work. So these rules that were made may be set up in our family, may be set up in early childhood of how the world works. that are in contrast or conflict to these I ams, please treat this rule in the best and perfect way and replace it with the new rule. I am free to be connected to my highest version of me. I am free to choose who I am. I am free to unlock the shackles of who others say I am. I choose who I am. I am Verena. And so I want you to say that with your hand on your anchor and say it with the new rules. The new rule is I am, say your name. The new rule is I am. And this image and feeling will immediately become manifest on all levels of consciousness of my being. I am who I say I am. And please treat this statement in the best and perfect way. This is the new rule of who you are. I am who I say I am. And please treat this on all levels of consciousness in the best and perfect way. Thank you. Now I want you just to go to family history. Family history, superconscious. Please treat any rules and contracts that we've made with parents in regards to who we are, and knowing that when you choose to be who you are, you will still belong to your family. You will still belong to your family, even if you choose to be different. Even if you choose different belief systems, different way of life, you still belong. Please treat this statement in the best and perfect way. You still belong to your family, even when you choose who you are. Please treat that in the best and perfect order. Thank you. Superconscious, please treat all broken agreements that you've made with yourself, that others have made with you about who you are. Maybe it's when you haven't followed through. Please treat these broken agreements in the best and perfect order. Thank you. They no longer hold a resistance for you. Superconscious, please treat the inner child who came up with the beliefs and the limited perception of how the world works. Please let that inner child know that when you release this version of you, you're going to feel more satisfaction, less pain. And remember the version of you that chose to come here, the higher version of you, which is the most evolved version of you, the wise version of you. Please treat this in the best and perfect way. And let the inner child know that when you become part of this higher version, that no parts will be lost and no parts will die. And your inner child, everything that they've learnt and experienced will be used at the best and perfect time. Thank you. Superconscious, please treat all chakras, all energy systems, cellular memory on who we think we are, and take in the information on a cellular level, take in the new information of who I am. I am who I say I am. I am, and say your name. I am Verena. Superconscious, please treat this statement in the best and perfect way. Thank you. Please treat all remaining resistance. Bring it down to 0. Please ground all memories that we've touched on today. Quantum memories, tandem memories, ancestral, future memories, past life, archetypal, ego states. Please ground memories 1, 2, and 3, conscious, unconscious, superconscious. And please strengthen with positive memories of who I am. Positive statements of who I am. And as you put your hand on your anchor and you say your name and you feel into that new version, higher version of yourself. Take a deep breath in And out. And feel into it. Let yourself calibrate into this newest, highest version of you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I hope you enjoyed that session. Come back and do it again. Practice it every day. Remember the I ams. Put it in part of your morning routine. I am. And if you start to feel resistance, go back through feeling into the emotions of what it feels like to be in the I am. And yeah, do it. Say your name and feel into it. When you say your name, use that as the anchor and the trigger to connect you back to your unlimited version of yourself, your higher self. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I will, I'll now close from, I'll keep on if you have any questions, and I'll just cancel off Facebook. So thank you, and I will see you next week at 10 a.m. But before I finish, remember to register for the Emotional Mastery Creation starting on Sunday the 7th, Northern Hemisphere, Monday the 8th, which is Southern Hemisphere in Australia where I am. The Emotional Mastery is going to be awesome. There's 4 coaches doing techniques showing you how to transcend emotional states. We'll even have an opportunity to work with someone. There's also special offer if you want to, the people that are watching this are already in creative sphere, but maybe there's, of a friend, or maybe of someone that you want to share this information with, and they can join us on that emotional mastery journey, which would be great. And you'll see the link in the inner circle. I'll put in the event the link to the emotional mastery so you can register. And yeah, it will be a lot of, if you love this, it's going to be more of the same. And if there's other people that you think that can benefit from this work, share it alike. It's time that we create change. So I'll finish off for today, and I will see you next week. And I'll just stop recording.